Morning. Is there anybody here from another Unity? Anybody here for the first time? Oh, leave your hand up. Are you from another Unity? Are you from Columbine? San Francisco. All right, welcome to Unity of Boulder. Okay, leave your hand up. We have a gift for you. That's a bag filled with marijuana. It's legal in Boulder. All right. You're going to enjoy this talk. Is there anybody here for the first time? It's a lucky day for you because you are going to enjoy this talk. Look forward to it.
Yes, it is. Can you switch me to this? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. This is not our sound guy's fault. This is my fault. I came out with a microphone with a dead battery. I just have one quick announcement of something that's upcoming here at Unity of Boulder. We're going to try something new. We're going to try a silent auction, but this silent auction is a little different than your average silent auction. Between now and August 27th, we're going to be accepting items for the silent auction. It's going to take place over a month, but we're not looking for physical items. What we're looking for are gift certificates for things like services and talents. Say if you're a Reiki healer, you could offer an hour session and people can bid on it. If you do pet sitting, counseling, art classes, landscaping services, any sort of service that you would like to offer for any period of time, please let us know and we'll be setting that up, and that'll be taking place between August 27th and it'll conclude October 1st, and we'll set everything up in tables throughout the month of September in Fellowship Hall for people to bid, and we'll announce the winners of everything October 8th following that. So we're just going to try a kind of a different fundraiser here. So if you have any type of skills or services you'd like to offer, please let us know. And if you know anyone who, maybe a neighbor, a friend who does something that maybe they could offer, please ask them if they would enjoy donating something to it. It's a great chance to get someone new into someone else's business or practice. So, all right, that's all I've got for today. I'd like to welcome our special musicians. We've had John and Amy here quite a few times. They are awesome, so welcome John and Amy.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So our theme for this July 4th weekend, we have a couple songs about love. And this first song, one of my best friends, Eddie Dubois, some of you may know him. He passed away a few years ago. His daughter, who I've known since I was 3, is getting married next month, and she asked us to do this song at her wedding. So we thought it'd be good to play for you and a good chance for us to practice it as well. So this is called More of You by Chris Stapleton.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with some more love in a little bit.
Thank you for your beautiful music. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start by doing a singing prayer, and we're going to ask you to stand up and join us. We're going to connect in song. They say to sing is to pray twice, so we're going to sing together a song that we all know that's so empowered and so beautiful. So let's stand up and let's sing together.
I get it.
Community. Finding unity through the things we have in common. Community. We gather around a cause. Genetics or biology, or geography. Race, religion, nationality, sexuality. Where do you live? Where do you work? Where do you play? Common interests, music, sports. marching bands, Comic-Con, leather. Maybe you're a part of several communities. Maybe some of those overlap, and maybe they don't. It doesn't matter. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we've been struggling within our communities. Now, I play and perform for a lot of communities across the North American continent. Christian, pagan, atheist, Democrat, Republican, neither, black, white, straight, gay. You know what we all have in common? We're all struggling with each other. Now, we could get into the specifics and opinions as the reason why that is, but I don't have that kind of time, and neither do you. So the idea that I'd like to present to you this evening is the idea of transcendence. Now, transcendence is not turning our back on everything that was. It's not giving up on every idea, rite, ritual, process. It is not destroying the foundation on which our communities were structured. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel as long as the wheel is still functional. It's simply letting go of what is obviously not working anymore and supporting the best of what is working. It's an idea of expansion. It's getting clear on what it is that actually needs changing, and then redefining how that change can transpire. Because somewhere we got confused, we got jaded, defeated, we get angry and scared. We start trying to force square pegs into round holes. And quite honestly, it's exhausting. There's plenty of people out there telling it like it is. I'm here to tell you how it can be. We can engage our humanity. We can employ our power, not the boisterous alpha display of hierarchy. I'm talking about real power, the kind that's inconspicuous, the kind that's enigmatic, the kind that can embrace a soul without it even knowing and love it into greatness, the kind of power that we can bring to the table and disarm all categories of fear. We can create a tipping point that slides us directly into the path of our own greatness. We can become a society that changes the way we see ourselves and our future and operate from that point of view. What is it we are actually gathered around as a community? This planet is made up of continents, made up of nations, made up of states and provinces, made up of municipalities, municipalities made up of communities, communities made up of us's. And we can consciously, collectively shift the climate. We can change. Listen, there was a time that you could not walk, and then there was a time that you could. The ground didn't change, you changed. There was a time that you could not speak, and then there was a time that you could. The language didn't change, you changed. You transcended the limitations of silence. You transcended the limitations of crawling. At one point, it carried you, and then eventually you realized it was binding you to the ground. So you transcended into walking, and then running. And when we finally discover the common thread of what it is we all desire, we will fly. Listen. It's time to transcend the limitations that we are so conditioned to believe in. It is time to take responsibility for the energy we bring into a space. It is a call for revolution, but not one that requires us to revolt, one that's asking us to turn. Change is happening. Whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether or not you approve, one of two things will happen. You will either walk with it mindfully, or you will be dragged. If we want to propel the momentum towards love, if we want to tip the scales in favor of life itself, we have to understand we don't have to agree on all the details in order to be moving in the same direction. Do not confuse unity with uniformity. Our control in the way that this whole thing goes lies in your power of choice. Will you be a light? Or will you be a vacuum? I choose light.
Good morning, everyone. As many of you might know, I just returned from the Unity Ministers Conference in Kansas City, Missouri, where we all come together and get inspired. We get our glass filled by wonderful keynote speakers around the world, and many of them very thriving ministers in unity. And there was a common thread, and this was the beginning of the convention. Unfortunately, this woman only sang. I just saw her sing the most powerful music I might have ever seen in my life. And then I went looking for the songs to see if I could get sheet music that could possibly be performed, and I found this TED Talk. It was a really missed opportunity. This woman not speaking at our ministers' conference, I just was really blown away by, I think I got more in my hotel room of watching this than all that I saw. I mean, it was a great conference, but she is just impassioned and powerful, and I got to speak with her and talk to her about this TED Talk. But I talked about last week about how I've been having this phase where it's almost where time has stopped, and I haven't been able to find where the doors are open. And I was sharing about how when we're in a time of change, in a time of deepening and awakening, how sometimes things aren't flowing. It's not a time of thinking and having or visualizing, and it creates. We realize that it's a time to be with whatever is percolating and whatever is growing and what is actually awakening. And I went back to this conference with an intention to get clarity. And this video was the clarity I needed. It's community, finding unity through the things we have in common. But we have been struggling within this community. Behind the scenes here at Unity, the constant question has been, how do we get everyone back to unity, sitting in person in these seats? It's been tough. It's been a personal inner battle for me. It has been on all of you. We remember when this church was packed, when everybody was participating. And it wasn't even packed before COVID, but it was a lot larger, and we were definitely filling in this place. Then COVID hit. And then all of the things have happened, and it's just slowly dwindling. And we see that you're joining us online, and we're very, very grateful for that. But we're going to talk about that a little bit today. So it's been a personal inner battle for me. It has been an exhausting journey for everyone who is in leadership of any kind in the Unity world, in any community, any church, any spiritual path. The truth is community is disappearing. And we're going to discuss that today. We're going to discuss if we believe that we need community still, right? Because the stresses that we've been under financially in this church, where there's too much month and not enough money, is stressful, right? So a lot of our time in the board meetings is just looking at that instead of envisioning what we can create, how we can do outreach, how we can help the homeless situation, how we're just trying to keep the doors open of this 30,000 square foot building that we don't really need anymore. Unless you want to come back and participate in this adventure. And I thank all of you, because all of your faces, I recognize that you are coming here. And thank you for getting up and getting dressed and leaving the house. That's called participation. So we question, how do we erase the scars and shrapnel that COVID left everybody in? The separation it has produced, the isolation, and has continued in our day-to-day. We have inspiration on YouTube, on every genre you could possibly want. But do you get to look at your best friend during a motivational talk here at Unity, where you experience in person or feel that space and that love after Marcy Baruch sings one of her gorgeous prayers into your soul and resonate with all whom you are sitting amongst? The ones that are sitting here are going, remembering and feeling, I am home. I am home. You shrug inside your being when you're hearing this beautiful music, thinking and feeling, wow, I'm a part of this. And this is a part of me. It's a visceral experience. We are a community, you and I. You guys are a part of our community, but you know what's funny is I have this amazing gift this lifetime. I don't ever forget a face. I don't. I grew up in Unity. I was sitting in the fellowship hall at like 5 years old. People that come back after 40 years ago, I remember their faces and it blows their minds. I don't remember names as well, I wish I did. But all of you online, I have no idea who you are, right? You're sitting in your living rooms, and if you're here in Boulder proper, why aren't you wanting this experience? Why aren't you wanting to feel the giving and the receiving? This part of humanity, this part of God in action, us as mirror for each other. This is what truly heals us. The cyber world is never going to heal us because it's quick. It's just think and have. You get it, but then you leave it and you forget in 2 seconds. You didn't get a heart, a hug, a kind word, a memory of all the beauty and all the good that's still in this world when you look in the loves that are sitting in these pews, in all the pews, and all the unities, and all the churches, and all this. But I don't care what place you go to. If you consider yourself a part of a community, then you have to participate. Last week, Francesco said it perfectly, who's a Qigong master. He shared these words with unity, and he said this: "You are all points of light, and you are blessed by making that decision to come here today for this gathering, for this service, a call to action. Unity's teachings is a path and a bridge to divinity, understanding mind and spirit in a practical way. How do we bridge in the divinity? We trust in our physical body, just like our musicians today, or you walking in here today. There's a physicalness to our divinity. We have intellectual connection to our spirit, but we need a visceral experience. That means to me what dance is about coming to service today. Those of you who chose to come here physically have made that step to say, I'm going to bring my physical presence to service today. I'm not going to sit at home and watch it on live stream. And we are glad you are watching us on live stream and may have a good reason for doing it from home. That's what it's there for. But ask yourself, if you are able-bodied, are you willing to make the step to bring your physicalness here to your spiritual home? The music is not being played in recordings. These people are here in physicalness, practicing and putting this music together. Do you realize that we could sell this building and just build a studio like a lot of the other unities? And there would be no more participation. It will all be on film. And we can get all the best artists, and it's already recorded, so we're not supporting the artists of our community, the amazing band that we have here, the lighting people that we hire, the camera people that hire. They're all participating to create this experience for what? This is that place I've been in, and I finally got it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I realize I'm hiding that the church is struggling because we want to be positive. We want to get a positive message when we come here. But my biggest fear is that someday you're going to really need unity. You. And the door's going to be locked. And the church is going to be closed. I don't want that for you. So I'm on my own with God, with Jack, with Norma, with our board of directors, with my staff, doing everything in our power to get you to come back. Because we will not survive one more year with the year that we just had. And I started to take it personally. I started thinking it was a reflection of me. And then I heard from the other ministers that they started to feel that it was a reflection of them. And I got to sit with others and grieve what it has done to us. We're focusing so little on the message, on the unity message, that what you put out into this universe, you get back. You participate with your words, with your actions, your mind, your body, your spirit. It's not just mind and spirit. It always says the Holy Trinity in unity is the mind, the body, and the spirit. All three have to be in union. And that's not just clicking on your phone to watch it. It's making unity a place to go. So the physicalness, you know, I was so relieved when I was in Kansas City and watching my younger brother, who is the president of Unity Worldwide Ministries. Well, he's, you know, in the work of inspiring all of us ministers to keep our heads up and not be in burnout. And the whole thing is about self-care. We need to be in self-care. You guys all need sabbaticals. I've never had a sabbatical, and I've been speaking in this pulpit for 15 years. I don't think I've ever seen Jack take a sabbatical. Because we know how fair weather friends everybody is to this center. I have a guest speaker, and then there's half the people the next week. The leaning on us as clergy, and yet we don't feel like we can really lean on you. And it's in the giving and the receiving. It's just in the tithing. Like, it's the 4 T's, if you ever heard about it in prosperity consciousness. It's time, talent, treasure. That's what creates prosperity. You can't just do one. In a gathering of souls that are a part of participating in this vision, we give our time, our talent, and our treasure. And there might be a point where you don't have treasure, so you give your time and your talent until that draws to you the treasure to share, right? But something. But we have no volunteers. We have so few volunteers, and all of our volunteers are burning out too. You can change your thinking and thereby change your life. You can do this by deliberately imaging into your subconscious vital ideas positive images instead of negative ones. You're constantly in a state of becoming, and you do become what you think. This philosophy does not mean, of course, that your life will be without problems. What it means is that you will be able to meet any problem full of confidence, that you have the courage and the strength and the know-how to face it. You need only ask and believe, image and believe, work and believe. And I have been asking and believing. I have been imaging and believing. Every Saturday night, I visualize every soul sister and brother who has attended over the 40 years we have been here, feeling the divine urge to come home to unity. On Sunday mornings, before I do anything else, I burn Palo Santo into the building, clearing any unneeded or wanted energy to neutralize the space, for peace to prevail in the hearts and minds of all who join us. I pray from Spirit, Mother, Father, Source, help us. Help us, lead our inner insight for true knowing of where to lean into next with our community. This is what it looks like in my mind's eye at this time. We are at a bridge, and we can't see where we are going. Spirit's message when I've been trying to do this on my own with Spirit and talking with Jack and talking to Shad and talking to every minister in Colorado that are friends of mine, it's come down to all of our guidance has been this, to bring this conversation to you. This is your future. This is your spiritual home. What we know is that what we are doing is not sustaining this ministry. We need to be willing to pivot and move towards what's next. And when we figure that out, we also know to not get too comfortable, but to be fluid and in the knowing that we will always, with the times we are in, will always be pivoting, adjusting, and growing. This is our call. And this has been the call for everyone. This is not just about unity and this community. This is about all of us. All of us have been asked to step in our careers, in our families, in our relationships with extended families and co-workers and bosses. There has been a rumble, and we've been feeling it in our heart and our chest. We all feel this calling. We can feel that the old way has left us, and yet we keep looking back. Why won't the things that we used to do still work now? That's been in so many places of my personal life, in so many places of my friends and their friends' lives, right? And now we're faced with unity, right? We've made it through COVID, and we made it for the last few years. But then this last year, we've been in a deficit of over $10,000 a month. A month. So, we have to take an inventory of our lives and ask ourselves, is unity of Boulder important to all of us, right? I know it's important to me. I've been grieving behind the scenes, probably every day for 6 months. And I don't know why I took it on like it was mine. to take on by myself with God. I was here back in the day when you couldn't get everybody in the pews. People were trying to climb through the windows to get in, and there was only one parking spot to our building. So you had to do 2 services, then you had to do 3 services, and packing the plates. That's why we built this building. I've been there in the heyday of unity and community. So is unity still the beloved community you seeked out originally? And if it is, or if it is not, we want you to share with us what you would like more or less of. All things are revealed in you and me. Everything, every movement, every sensation, everything is moved through us and our relationship with Spirit. We need your help to start visiting with Spirit within you and the visions you get, so we can all do this together. I don't want to be another one of the statistics that we're seeing when we're out at Unity Village, and it's almost a memorial of churches that are closing. I don't want to be added to that list unless that's what you guys want. So last week, I was talking about destruction, construction, destruction, construction. Really this idea of change. We've all been in a state of change. I know we're all exhausted of it, actually. But when we're just being thrown around by change, like a tornado, and just constantly being thrown around by change, that's what it's felt like. When we can get divinely focused as a community and come into what is next, what is in that fog, we can get excited. We can affirm it. We can decree it. We can say it into the universe. And as we do this together, we will conquer this fluctuation of where unity of Boulder is heading. And you know what? Other unities will watch us because we're one of the most successful ones. Isn't that hard to believe? So what are the benefits of practicing a more spherical perspective of life? Is that you can choose the meaning that makes the better story, or the one that best serves you. The meaning that feels right, or the one you most resonate with. You can choose the meaning that takes away the pain, that absolves you of guilt or responsibility. One lens that can be helpful is the one where you are aware of the never-ending cycle of destruction and construction. If we hold back judgment of construction being a good thing and destruction being a bad thing, these things take on the possibility of a deeper meaning. And we've been in destruction. So now we're at the bottom. And that can be an exciting place to be, because all there is up. Now it's time for construction. And all of you are a part of it. And I hope those of you that are joining us online will join us here, having a visceral experience with your sisters and brothers on this path. In Eye of the Storm, on page 68, it's written, when Nicodemus asked Jesus about the kingdom of God, he answered him, Oh wait, that's the wrong one, sorry, I passed that. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born anew, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Puzzled by this saying, Nicodemus questioned Jesus, how can a man be born when he is old? Jesus replied, I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, they cannot enter the kingdom of God. I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, they cannot enter the kingdom of God. Nicodemus understood the symbols water and Spirit. Water represents cleansing, baptism, and purification. Spirit literally means breath, the life force. A spiritual and water rebirth brings us into relationship with those parts of ourselves that have yet to be integrated into our senses of wholeness and well-being. Our fears, false beliefs, judgments, and limitations live in us as a watery pit, the abyss. The conflict is our spiritual midwife. Through cleansing and purification, we breathe new life into our being. We awaken to possibilities that only conflict can reveal to us. Conflict brings us into relationship with the kingdom of God, the dimension of life that is pure potentiality. We do not readily open ourselves to challenging circumstances without certain assurance. Our need to feel safe and okay about ourselves moves us away from the abyss. Yet it is at those very edges where we experience being most alive. So we have to ask ourselves, what lesson does your soul want to learn this lifetime? Do you know? Or what has your soul come in to learn this lifetime? And all of it comes down to the fact that we are individual beings, spiritual beings, that are connected in oneness, and the spiritual home you've chosen is unity. And as we come into our wholeness individually, we will come into our wholeness as a community. It's an individual work as well. It's between us and spirits, us and source, us and all of it. So, as a leader of this center, obviously, I've had insecurities at times, asking maybe I am the reason so little people are supporting the center. The very edges I have faced within myself as we were not full and thriving before COVID, but then surviving this center and keeping it afloat during COVID, while our church center was divided on whether vaccines or no vaccines, masks or no masks, and holding the very balance and space to create a safe haven for everyone, working 10 times harder to get less results. Quite frankly, it has been exhausting. And now we are here, hanging on by a thread financially. It could make one question if I was called to be here at this time, which they always say this in our spiritual conferences, you were called here for this time. I was called here for this time as the spiritual leader of the center and to move it prosperously into what is next for a thriving community. I ask myself, what was I thinking when I signed my name on that karmic contract? I will have an attorney present next time. A very spiritual attorney. A great way to seek the answer to what our soul is here to do goes like this. Whatever it is our purpose to learn, know, be, and teach in this life, we will experience the opposite over and over until we do. If you are here to learn unconditional love, you will experience many times over conditional love. We learn by opposites or mistakes in order to get closer to what is true. When you look at the angst in your life, you will realize there is a mirror image trying to come through, but it does not look anything like the problem. It is the opposite. And as I spoke about on June 11th in my sermon, in order to expand the love you experience now into unconditional love, you need to involve a spiritual element. There's a path to unconditional love, as with any spiritual aspiration. Everything we're looking for is about this divine connection with this greater power we call God, Source, Spirit, Love, Allah. Whatever road that leads to God, Spirit, is good. But to live without it, to live without this, to live without music, to live without this incredible band, to live without the Christmas inspirational moments where you guys get to come here on Christmas Eve, on Easter morning, to see so beautifully and creatively shared with you what God can do through us. God can only do what we will allow to be done through us. And that's in anything that you're involved in your life right now. Everything can be overcome when you believe that there's something greater at hand, that is evolving, and it's growing, and it's authentic, and it's honest, and it's beautiful, because that's what's being called is a higher consciousness. Stepping out of lower consciousness to high consciousness. And so this place is being shook up a bit. It's unraveling the rug. It's letting us really feel in reverence what really matters. Right? After COVID, everybody said, I now realize how important being around my family is. I now realize that community is so important. We all got that from that isolation. And yet you haven't come back. It's almost like we have a PTSD of being around each other. We've learned how to be apart. So we have to, like she said, you once crawled and then you walked. I'm asking you to walk back home. You can't see all the beautiful faces that are sitting here, but I get to. And you are gorgeous. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are servants of the divine love that calls forth the transcendence that's going to change everything that's going on with our planet, with our government, with this world. You are the change I am looking for. I want you to be the change that I'm looking for. So, as I spoke on June 11th, in order to expand the love you experience now into unconditional love, you need to involve a spiritual element. Your dilemma might be around trust for self and other, healing for self and other, wishes fulfilled for self and other, surrender into self and into other, an undefended self and seeing no defense in other, forgiveness of self and forgiving of other. And it all starts with you and you. You can't force, you can't beg, you can't change anyone else to love you the way that you desire. If you don't love, if you don't feel loved or lovable, you have not practiced the kind of love you aspire to receive. The first step in healing is to look inside and let the process of releasing begin. Healing can proceed along many avenues. One really great one is an hour each Sunday at Unity. It's a good place to start, right? To explore here, to remember, to fully embrace the love that you are in the mirror of all the other loves that have embraced this kind of love within themselves. This is the love that you can trust. This is the love you can relax into. This is the beginning of your personal journey of falling in love with yourself completely and truly. And then absolutely everything else in your life will heal. And so will the unity of Boulder community. So I'm going to reshare some of the words that Summer shared with us. So community, we gather around our community. How can we transcend what is not working and find what is, and growing more of that? This time is about getting clear on what it is that actually needs changing, and then redefining how that change can transpire. Because somewhere we got confused. We got defeated, we've gotten frustrated, and we've even felt fear. I've watched us force round pegs into square holes. I've done it even myself. Things that used to work that no longer work. And we ask ourselves, well, it used to work in this community, and then we make a change. And a percentage of us can't let go and allow for something new to be explored. What do they call that? When you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. We can engage, each and every one of us, by sharing, taking to heart, asking more questions, being more a part of the discussion about where we are going as a unity community. Because in the Bible it says, for where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Well, can you imagine if we had 100 in his name, or 1,000 in God's name, source's name, where all of us gather in spirit's love, engaged to step into that which is being called for our beloved community. Nothing will stand in our way. We can love it into existence, and together we will walk hand in hand across the bridge where the sun starts shining and burns away the fog for clear sight of where we are, creating a tipping point that slides us into our greatness, into our prosperous moment, once again, here at Unity. And so once again, I want Summer Osborne to sing us out of this sermon.
You feel a burning in your chest. You know you're different than the rest. Sometimes it makes it feel like you could cry. When you're looking at the world through the heart that's on your sleeve, rather than your sailing eyes. Sometimes it scares you to death. Sometimes it stops you in your tracks. Sometimes it makes it feel like you're pushing for nothing. But then everything gets quiet and the world moves in slow motion. And that little voice inside you whispers, do something. This is your call. You're called to be the one. The one who will inspire, climb mountains, start a fire that shines brighter than the sun. And you will not waver. You will stand tall. You will be brave. You're gonna be the difference between loving and resistance. So hear me when I say, you are able, you're willing, you're strong. This is your call, yeah. This is your call, yeah. You hear the thunder in your voice. You know you have no other choice but to open up your mouth and just let it fly. When you look down at your hands and you know the best laid plans are the ones that push you up from deep inside. And they'll try to make you believe that you cannot question what you see, that you should just lay low. But no one's ever sown a seed without breaking up the ground, and no one's ever made history by settling for status quo. This is your call. You're called to be the one. The one who will inspire, climb mountains, start a fire that shines brighter than the sun. And you will not waver, you will stand tall, you will be brave. You're gonna be the difference between loving and resistance. So hear me when I say, you are able, you're willing, you're strong.
We will take an offering now, and this is a time where you can contribute to the flow, the light, and the power of community to help you thrive, to help unity thrive, to help transform the world. So, and we have all these ways to give. We have new signs out in the lobby that you can do Venmo, PayPal, and so check it out. And if you have any questions about how to volunteer, how to contribute, talk to any one of us, and we will get you connected. Thank you.
Well, freely we have received insight into life as it moves on, and the whole object of our lives is to evolve, and we are evolving. You cannot evolve in a greater understanding than the understanding of unity. That's all there is to it. A lot of the people in the world are pulling back and giving up. They've said, no, life doesn't work, so they're not involved in it. But in unity, the one thing that everyone who's even been touched marginally by the truth we share here, you need to give yourself to it. Okay? And that's what was said today. That's what we're about doing. Let's bring our offerings into our hearts, into our minds, and into our hands, and bless them with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. Okay, and we have our guest singers to share their incredible music with us once again.
Every time we come to sing and play for you guys, I hear a message that just goes straight to my heart and moves me so profoundly. And I'm so grateful for that, and grateful for this community. When John and I were talking about what songs to share for 4th of July weekend, we thought about what our country and our communities need the most. And really what we thought of was love, because we're all hungry for it, and we all have so much of it to share. So I let you off the hook on the first song, but I want you to sing with me on this one. We changed the timing a little bit, so you Beatles purists are, you just got to roll with it. And especially on the chorus, because really all we need is love, and then that propels everything else. So. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Nothing you could do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All right, here's your job. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Nothing you could know that can't be known. Nothing nothing you can see that can't be shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. Yeah. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Yeah. All you need is love. All together now. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. One more time. All you need is love. Do you believe it? All you need is love. I love you. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Yes.
We want to let you know that we have prayer partners available to you. If you're facing a challenge or a joy, you can meet with one of our prayer partners. They've got these nice white sashes on. Just stay seated in your seat and they'll come and pray with you. Today we have a beautiful potluck that's going to happen about 15 minutes after the service. There will be no circle up afterwards to discuss the service because I'll be sitting at tables and we can discuss it in there. And I did say that I would like to hear what you would like to keep around here and what you would like not to keep. But if you're going to give us a suggestion, you have to be willing to volunteer and be a part of your suggestion. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. All right. Okay, let's close with Let There Be Peace on Earth, and let's circle up and let's all hold hands the way we used to. We're going to all go all the way around this. I think we're big enough to go around these two pews right here. Go, yep, you're going to go up and around.
Move over to the side aisle. That aisle.
There you go. We're going to circle up. We're going to be one big circle.
Side aisle. Move over to the side aisle.
Here, we'll move this way.
Why does it look like so many people here?
Come join us down here. This little line of people, you're a part of us.
Okay.
Here we go.